This wasn't a trap. This wasn't a space created by Liberty's cronies. This wasn't some trick or nonsense or anything like that. This place was very, very real. What's worse, Sonya knew exactly where she was. She hadn't wanted to believe it for the first few minutes of wandering the endless halls, running at top speed. Yet the more she traveled, and the stranger this place became to her eyes, the more she had to accept it. I'm in the Backrooms, the place that non-Euclidean travels through. Whatever happened, it happened while I was in the process of teleporting. No other explanation. A goddamned coincidence. She wasn't even sure if it was possible to leave, even if the cooldown on her disabled ability ended. That thought alone drove her to keep looking, searching the endless blank halls that changed every time she turned a corner. Sometimes they looked like the corridors of an office building. Other times they were that eerie white-gray stone. And others looked like something far older, something ancient. Ancient and empty. Not a soul, not a trace of anything living. She was alone here, and with Ishtar silent and resting, she didn't even have anyone to bounce ideas off of. So she ran, and ran, and ran, flying, where she could, every ounce of her power put into speed to explore every inch, searching for something more than the tireless madness of this place. Sonya clicked her tongue as she rounded another corner and found nothing but a seemingly endless hallway stretch out ahead. She hovered in the air, fuming, and glanced back over her shoulder. Do I double back? She swore and checked the clock on non-Euclidean's reactivation. Only an hour had gone by since the power had been shorted out by whatever the hell kind of force had acted upon it. Like hell, I'm staying here for 12 fucking hours. I need to get back. She looked up at the ceiling and held her hand out, a steady beam of hardened light lancing out from her fingertips and crashing into the surface. She held it for several seconds, her eyebrows furrowed in concentration before she released it. She spat on the ground. No damage whatsoever. Whatever this place was, it was resilient. It was also impossible. The angles, the shapes of the rooms, where the hallways led, none of them made any sort of rational sense. She could walk into one room, turn a corner into another, and then again and find herself in a space that was entirely different from the one she'd started in. And everything is just white stone. If I wasn't pressed for time, I'd appreciate the postmodern aesthetic, but seriously, I can barely make heads or tails of where I'm going. She pressed her lips together. I could call up a few legionnaires, send them out in different directions, but would I be able to reach them if they found an exit? She scratched her head. She'd heard of some pretty impressive abilities, but this was far beyond that. The world around her was vast and painfully real, and she got the sneaking suspicion that the Backrooms were some kind of dungeon. Which also doesn't make any sense. I didn't enter a dungeon portal. I entered my portal. She drew herself up and zipped down a new hallway, her eyes scanning her surroundings for anything that seemed even reasonably like an exit or a new sort of path. She was only halfway down when something else caught her attention, the sense of something else moving in her immediate vicinity, and moving fast. She snarled and spun, throwing her hands out and forming a panel of light just in time as claws snapped out in her direction. The bladed limbs collide with her barrier, and instead of stopping, pushed. She let out a gasp as the force of the collision sent her hurtling through the air before crashing into a wall.